doing? We have a playing lesson here with Jonathan. We're on the first hole of the white course at Windermere Country Club in Naples, Florida. The hole is a dogleg to the right. It's 322 yards long. And I'll ask you first, Jonathan, how would you play this hole?
How I would play this hole is I would look at where my misses. I don't want my ball to be. So I'm looking at, so I got a miss to the left I don't want to be in. I got a miss to the right I don't want to be in. I got fescue on both sides. So I'm going to want to play something that gets me a decent range from the green without having too much trouble on either side. So I'd either hit 3-wood or hybrid. Sometimes I'd hit 4-iron depending on how I'm swinging that day.
Okay, so tell me how you would play the hole with your shot now based on what you described.
I would most likely hit hybrid.
And that's going to put you how far from the middle of the green?
I'm looking to be around just like 110, just over 100 yards.
So this is your 212 club?
This is about my 220 club.
So then you're looking to be 102 yards?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, perfect execution. He's in the middle of the fairway. And you know, everybody has their own way of digesting the shot. You spoke about the trouble burst. What I would suggest is, and, you know, and that might work for you, where you notice the trouble is and you iron out. But what I like is basically the yardage that you picked, 102 away from the green. It could be 125, wherever your comfort zone is for your yardage coming. So I agree with that. That's a good job. I would look where you want to land the ball and play the hole backwards. Is how I would suggest another way of doing it. So if you find out your consistency is not where you want it to be, I would select your positive shot. Like I want to be 102, 100 yards from the green. I would take a shot. I would draw a line back from the flag to the middle of the fairway, and I would say from that spot, 100 yards. I know you're going to map out the course. What type of shot would allow my ball to end there? So I would focus on the positive, focus on where you want to land the ball. Definitely focus on where you want to start the ball so that the ball ends where you want it to end. With that better said, where you ended the ball there, I would say right where the oak tree meets the cedar tree, on that line there is your starting point, and draw it in there. But you had perfect execution. How you went about it, you talked about the trouble. I would just look at where you want your landing area to be. Focus on where you want the ball to land. How do I want the ball to, what line I want it to take to get there, so that way I have a shot in that I want to go. I think your club selection is perfect for your shot into the green, and then execute to have that shot in the green. I think your club selection is perfect for the club you chose to get that done.
Thank you.
You got it.
I ended up in the pine straw here off my second shot. How would you play this shot with this being an upslope off the pine straw up to a upslope green and trying to get spin on it or control it? How would you kind of go about it?
At your caliber, Jonathan, we're looking to get this so you're inside 10 feet and have a good putt at it. Anybody else would obviously want to do the same thing, but we want to make sure that you have the imagination of what kind of shot you need to hit, and then we'll figure out how to execute that. So you figure we definitely need to do a bump and run shot. With these limbs here, we can't throw something up high, plus the unpredictability of the pine needles. So we're looking to, I would say maybe 2 bounces and on to 1 bounce and on and roll out. So what you need to do is use imagination. We'll have to experiment a little bit in your practice sessions, but we'll go with the best imagination would be right around where that sprinkler head is. If we carry that, we put the ball back in our stance to secure that when the ball flies, it hits and releases. If we had it up in the front of your stance, of course, it's going to go and land soft and it won't get up the hill. So we want to put the ball back at our stance. We want to lean forward so our center is on the left side of the ball, and we're basically looking back at the ball to secure that our hands are going to lead through the ball. We're going to make a stroke that we follow through low and long. But make sure you take your practice swings back here in the grass so that way you don't disrupt the fine movement of your ball. But take a practice swing and ask yourself, would my effort get me to carry that sprinkler head by 3 or 4 feet, 5 feet? And also we got to use the imagination. What's it going to do? But now we're terrain dependent on what's going to happen. It looks like it should take a little bit of a hit left, but not much. Fortunately, you don't have to spend a whole lot of thought on that. But let's see you take a practice swing. Once you feel, so you're going to take, I would still use maybe like your 54, so that way we get loft on it, put it back in your stance.
So normally I would use either my 54 or my 50, depending on how I would have to lie.
Right.
So you said bump it low at the sprinkler to keep it lower. So would you say like 50 would be better?
I would say 54 because you're going to play it back. The ball's going to squirt, so you're probably going to catch possibly a little bit of pine needles in there. Okay. And you also want to guarantee that your hands stay in front of the club. Now, if you were looking to get the club head to catch up to your hands a little bit, but with that cart path being there, we want to guarantee, since you're playing it back and the unpredictability of the pine needles, I would like to see you play it middle back, with favoring the back of your stance. Do a practice swing. Let's see you follow through low, and really feel. And I would be careful that I would take practice swings in the grass because if that ball moves, you're penalty territory. You have to talk to yourself. Say that ball would have gotten there. That would have been short. That would have been long. Get your effort level up.
So that would have got there.
Yeah. And at least I would say a good 5 feet past that sprinkler head, so that way it'll have one bounce up, second bounce, and trickle out. So you flew it just a hair far?
A little farther than what we were trying to go for.
Yeah, but you have, what, about a 12, 15-foot putt? So it's not, I mean, from here as a recovery shot, it's not too bad.
But you would definitely try to want to get it, instead of trying to hit the green, just get it more in front of the green. Because it bounced a lot harder than I thought it would.
Yeah. Especially when you follow through that long and it's going to release coming out of here. You keep your hands in front, it's going to release because of that. You're putting the ball in the back of your stance, it's going to release. You have 3 reasons why it's going to release, so you want to play for the release.
John, so you just watched me play 3 holes. What are your thoughts? What should we just went over what you just taught me.
Right, well, you're a good player. You have a lot of great ideas around the golf course, and you have good skill to execute, how you see it. And then for consistency, where I can help you, and in some of your trouble shots, what we went over for advice was to save you time, some more efficiency items, see your line better, map out, play the hole backwards. So where do you want to come into the green from, and visualize your shots just a little bit better, where you you take your variables in ball position and really visualize a little bit better, and take the time to visualize where the ball's going to land, how it's going to roll out. And that was the main thing with that. Then we had some other holes where you varied in a little bit of your pre-shot routine, so we tightened that up just a little bit, and just thought your way around the course. We imagined the shot just a little bit better. Like I said at the beginning, I thought you maybe brought the trouble into play and tried to avoid the trouble. So what I like to see you do is just focus on where you want to be, how it's going to get there, what club do I need to execute, add in some other variables, obviously, what's the wind doing, and do I have a flyer lie, tight lie, those things. But visualize your shot better and play the hole backwards, and where do you want to come in from, and how do you plan on getting to that place?
And that's kind of what I'm trying to do. Sometimes I work myself, like you said, I focus on the stuff where I don't want to be rather than where I want to be, and that's something that the past few rounds I've put myself in trouble, and it's kind of stuck in my head. So
we overthink. I mean, most of the golfers, 90% of golfers, the trouble we see it, we fear it a little bit, we think about it a little bit too much, or we think about the swing just a hair too much. When you're playing, you want to basically take dead aim, like that old comment. You see, and again, if you really take the hole and play it backwards, I know I'm kind of saying it a couple times, but if you play it backwards, and where do you want to be? I want to be 100 yards, I want to be 110. I don't like 100 yards on this hole, I want to be 125, and really map out your course, especially if you're playing for something that you really want to do well in, like a PAT or a tournament.
Mhm.
You know, your practice rounds, where's that flat spot? Where's the best area to come in on? And you really need to pay attention to where the flag positions are. And again, this is at your level. It's a little different than some others. But I think if you take that aim, execute based on, you already have solid fundamentals. You have a good idea where the ball is going. So if you take, I want to be this far away from the green with this club. I want to have my stock shot. And we discussed that a little bit today too with what's your stock shot, what is your money shot, what is your most repeatable shot, swing. 80% of your capabilities is your 100% of your stock shot. And if that means to choke down a quarter inch, a half an inch, just to get 5 yards off, 10 yards off, keep it simple, as the old KISS rule. And then once you get inside where you're 75 yards out, you might have to go to a 3/4 swing or, 80% of your swing or half swings. But try to keep it, play smart, play to your percentages, play to your stock shots the best you can. And that's it. You did a great job today.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job.